Well, hello everybody. It is earlier than usual, but I want to talk about Destiny and the nonsense and insanity that he has been spewing. And I figured we would go to Pierce Morgan's video that he uploaded an hour ago because what's it called? He's interviewed Destiny before. So they have a history. And this is a 53-minute video. So it looks like he's gonna go over pretty much all of Destiny's takes and talk about them. And considering that these are like all sorts of different clips and different parts of streams, I'm gonna use Pierce Morgan's video to talk about this because I trust that he has gathered his information in a concise manner and that we can glean our reactions from the compilation and what Pierce is going to say. And of course we can also react to what Pierce has to say on the subject and see if we agree with him. So, hello, Cannibalistic Wizard. Hello, Bishop. I like cookies too, CW. Destiny was a good game till they ruined it. Oh, the Tard streamer. Yes, that guy. Yes, that guy. The guy who has this really bad take on Trump, like really bad take, and he has gone off the rails on his opinion on the shooter and it's just getting insane. It's getting insane. And I'm here to cover it. I'm here to cover it. We covered the lolcow last night, and we're gonna cover this type of lolcow. I don't know if we can call it a lolcow though, because it's pretty bad. We're talking about somebody who is okay with political violence, and that's a little scary to me. Just my thoughts. But we're gonna pop over here. I'm gonna make sure that I am in the correct window. And we've got Twitch chat open as well. So we're good to go here. And before I switch to the live scene, please take a second to go check out the Streamlabs link. There is not only the one-time tipping feature, but they actually have a monthly tipping feature, which I think is really cool because you can set your own amount, and you don't have to create another account to go subscribe to anything. And you can stop whenever you want. You can start whenever you want. I think it's a really awesome feature that allows viewers a bit more freedom. Hey! Oh, correct window. I don't see a window in your room. Oh, the window is on the opposite wall of where the camera is. There is a window, but it's what's it called? It's boarded up and closed. So it's a Brittany. Hello, Brittany. Okay. So, as I said, please consider checking out the Streamlabs link. It is in the description, and you can set up a one-time or monthly tip. So consider doing that. Now, let's learn from Pierce Morgan just how crazy Destiny got. And like I said, I've watched a lot of Destiny's content. I agree with some of the things he says. I disagree with some of the things he says. I find that he is much more left of center than I am comfortable with. But there were a lot of things that I could agree on with Destiny. But now we're starting to see, just like I said last night, the Trump situation is really showing us who people are as people. Because whether you like Trump or not, we don't need an assassination right now. That's just not what we need. Regardless of your political feelings, that's just not at all what we need at this point. So, without further ado, we are going to take a look at this video from Pierce Morgan.
You're clearly implying that it is odd. Yeah, go ahead. Tell me your lunatic conspiracy theory about how odd.
I don't have any.
If you say to me,
I've been told by I've been told by many experts in the last 36 hours.
There's an entire cultural machine that has lied. There is an entire
we just saw it in real time. That's it.
What?
That's why conservatives deserve absolutely zero sympathy.
You sound almost gleeful, Destin, and I'm sorry. That makes you, frankly, despicable.
I'm not going to get on my knees and
Oh, so this is a panel that he's on. Oh, this is gonna be even good. This is gonna be even better. Because this is a panel that Pierce is on.
and beg for forgiveness or show sympathy to conservatives.
I'm not asking for that. I'm asking you to condemn what happened as an egregious attack on democracy. Can you do that?
No, I won't. No, I won't.
You can't do that. You see, so why the hell,
Absolutely
frankly,
not.
Destiny,
Absolutely not.
why the
Absolutely
hell should we
not.
listen to a
Absolutely not.
word you have to say?
This is gonna be good. I thought this was Pierce, like, compiling clips and like, reacting. No, this is a panel discussion This is gonna be... Oh. This is gonna be good. This is gonna be really good. Why do I not have to... Why must I not have any alcohol? This is...
Former President Trump is the king of the political comeback, but even by his own lofty standards, the past 4 days have been utterly sensational. After coming within a hair's breadth of assassination, last night he made a stunning return to the spotlight of the RNC. And for once, the gravity of the occasion was not lost on him.
Trump.
Oh, we're going to see what Trump had to say because they officially nominated him yesterday and he picked his VP, and he picked a VP that used to criticize him, and I really think that's a good idea. You don't want a VP that's going to be like, yes, sir, that's perfect, sir. You don't want a yes man vice president. You don't want a rogue vice president, but you don't want a yes man either. So for him to pick JP Vance was a really, really interesting and good strategy, I think.
We are grateful for you to be our nominee for the 47th President of the United States of America.
Listen to the unity.
Well, Trump hasn't made an entrance quite like that since he descended the golden escalator in 2015 to announce his first run for president. Bandaged and emotional, he walked into the arena like a UFC star and got the reception to match. Well, the many people who've criticised security failings at his rally on Saturday were quick to point out that his detail this time round seemed to be made up entirely of strapping men. But the focus of the night was undoubtedly Trump himself, a man who now looks like he's seriously preparing for a return to running the country.
Yeah, because after this assassination attempt, he's basically a shoo-in. There's, regardless of how you feel about the man, he's gonna win. He's gonna win, and that's just that.
President Biden, meanwhile, fumbled questions about his own incendiary rhetoric in the lead up to Saturday's shooting.
You called your opponent an existential threat. On a call a week ago, you said it's time to put Trump in the bullseye.
Oh, shit. I forgot he actually said that a week ago. Oh, fuck.
I'm dispute about the context, but I think you appreciate that
I didn't say
word.
crosshairs. I was talking about focus on. Look, the truth of the matter was, what I guess I was talking about at the time was there was very little focus on Trump's agenda.
Yeah, the term is bullseye.
Yeah, the term was bullseye. Let's put Trump in the bullseye. And then a fucking week later, there's a goddamn sniper on a roof, literally opposite Trump. How did the sniper get up there? How did the sniper get up there? Well, if somebody attacked him at UFC, the SS wouldn't have to lift a finger. The crowd would deal with them. That's true.
It was a mistake to use the word. I didn't say crosshairs.
Bullseye.
It was a mistake to use the word. I didn't say crosshairs. I meant bullseye. I meant focus on him.
Crosshairs? You think crosshairs is even... Oh my god! That's just as bad! Crosshairs, bullseye, I meant focus. Yeah, that's not what you use. Those aren't words that are synonymous with focus. You concentrate. I don't know, focus on. Illuminate, perhaps, would be another word. But bullseye and crosshairs, not exactly synonymous with focusing.
Focus on what he's doing.
What a pathetic excuse from, frankly, an increasingly pathetic president. Let's be crystal clear. Nobody thought Biden was talking about archery when he used the word bullseye, and he knows it. The presidential move would have been to say that everyone, on all sides, needs to dial down their incendiary rhetoric. But this president hasn't looked presidential for a long time now. One positive move Biden's made in the fallout from the tragedy on Saturday is to finally order the Secret Service to protect R.F. Kennedy Jr. The last thing America needs right now is yet more political violence, especially involving a Kennedy.
Yeah, we don't need fucking, because we had JFK, then we had Robert Sr. We don't need another Kennedy assassinated, thank you.
Well, in a moment, we'll meet tonight's panel to debate all this, but joining me now is the former counter-sniper in the State Department and the current Florida Republican Congressman, Corey Mills. Corey Mills, thank you very much indeed for joining Uncensored. First of all, I can't think of anyone better equipped in the political world than you to comment on what appears to have been a massive failing by the Secret Service.
You think? The massive failing is... Hello.
Drink this very, very, very slow.
Okay.
So slow you don't get a straw. How's that?
It tastes like medicine.
Okay, never mind.
Oh my god.
I'll take it away then. Well, we're out of juice.
Ugh! Streamlabs.com/blindpress for wine. God damn.
On Saturday, in their duty to protect President Trump. What did you make of it?
Well, I just wanted to say I really loved your monologue just now that talked about the idea of dialing down political rhetoric on both sides, as well as the dangers of utilizing words like in the bullseye or, you know, regardless of what he...
You heard him, folks. If you want to make me chug that whole thing, it's $30 to Streamlabs. Or, if you want to make me do shots, it's $5 a shot.
Says he went to indicate, it's obviously what he indicated was that
we're gonna be here for a while. You see the seek bar? 4 minutes of 53 minutes. We're gonna be here for a while.
The crosshairs, but you know, I just want to go ahead and say that, you know, this, in my opinion, is such a massive failure. It's such a big negligence on behalf of the advanced teams to say that a target which is 160 yards away, perfectly adjacent to the stage, was outside the perimeter. The perimeter is
yeah, that's nuts. That rooftop was not within the Secret Service perimeter. Just no. That is not acceptable. And I don't know how any Secret Service agent worth their salt could consider that okay.
And it's discerned by the counter sniper teams, by the advanced teams, and by the security details. I can tell you, as someone who has conducted thousands of advances, both on the Afghan and Iraq side, as well as for back home, has done multiple counter sniper team deployments looking...
Real quick, before you jump there, weird speculation, okay?
Yeah?
The rooftop was like the staging area for the sheriff or something like that. That was the building they was on.
That makes it even worse!
Okay, so you really should watch the guy's videos real quick to catch up, but don't just, like, that was all they're pretty sure he either had the ladder that went up there or he figured out a way to get up there through an access point. That's how he got up on that roof. The colors he was wearing matched the rooftop. The kid was pretty slick about it. I'm not going to say smart. He was pretty slick about how he got all done. The problem was why was there an officer that addressed him and then the officer left? That's the only question. So,
looking at overwatch positions, looking at how we react and mitigate threats, that this in its entirety, and I'm not a conspiracist, Pierce. I'm not one who tries to find my way to a, you know, inside job type of setup, but I am also a military guy who believes in the what-if scenarios of all things. And I think the American people deserve a true investigation, not by the FBI, but by Congress, to look and identify every single area, from local force consolidation, from looking at the cooperations that were on the ground, from resource allocations by the director of the Secret Service. And I think that people deserve to feel confident that this wasn't anything but massive malice or negligence, as opposed to something that was intentional.
Yes, that is, there does need to be very quickly something. Oh, let me see what the bling was. We definitely need. Thank you for subscribing. Thank you for subscribing to the YouTube channel. You rock. Does that wait? That means I'm at 1308 now. That's awesome. So yeah, we need to know whether this was a massive... Ooh, another subscriber. Thank you. Welcome. Let's see. Oh, thank you for gifting subs. You guys are on Twitch now and gifting subs. Thank you. That means overhead press time. Because when we do subscriptions here on Twitch. Yeah, these are on Twitch, honey.
That's awesome.
Thank you for that, guys. Thank you very much. 1, 2. Oh, I need to be on solo cam. That'll make it better for everybody.
I have them here if you want the 5-pounders.
No, overhead presses are 10. 5-pounders are for the side raises. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. I think I gotta do 40. 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, whoo, 16, 17, 18, 19, oh my god, 20. Okay, I'm gonna stretch for a second and then do the other 20. Oh. Whew, okay. One. Wow, these feel heavy now. 2, 3, 4, 5. Oh my god. 6, 7. Holy shit. 8, 9, 10. Okay, I'm gonna take a break and do the last 10 in a bit, or I will drop the weights. Holy shit. Thank you for the gifted subscribes, guys. That is awesome. You guys kick ass. You guys kick ass. Okay. Let's go back to the live screen.
Yeah, I completely agree. I mean, there's some extraordinary details emerging. Local news network in Pittsburgh has reported a member of Beaver County, Pennsylvania's emergency services unit, noticed the suspicious man on the roof near the rally at 5:45 p.m., called it in and took a picture of the person.
Wait,
the shooter.
what? Back that up a
Unit.
second.
Details emerging. Local news network in Pittsburgh has reported a member of Beaver County, Pennsylvania's emergency services unit, noticed the suspicious man on the roof near the rally at 5:45 p.m., called it in and took a picture.
Interesting. So a local cop, a local emergency services person, saw a suspicious person, called it in, and took a picture at 5:45. That's interesting. That is very, very interesting.
of the person, the shooter, 26 minutes before he was able to fire off 8 shots. There's then the footage, as we've seen, of other members of the public seeing him crawling across the rooftop.
That's right.
There's also snipers who are in position who appear to be looking at this guy too, and yet he's still able to fire 8 bullets, which seems completely extraordinary to me.
It does. If I don't know anything about intelligence, I'm gonna say that right now. I'm not gonna pretend to know anything about intelligence, but this feels really, really weird. This feels really, really like how could a local emergency personnel see this guy 26 minutes before he shoots anybody and call it in and take a picture, and nobody goes and looks? Like, nobody goes and looks and checks it out, and when he starts shooting, nobody takes him out right away?
Don't feel bad. Intelligence agencies don't have intelligence. It's okay.
Okay. But to me, it's like, how could he squeeze off 8 shots and none of the snipers took him out? That's... Like, I could understand maybe he gets 1 shot off, maybe 2, but then we should have a sniper taking him out. That's what, like...
Especially if it's all happening 150 meters from the President Trump, who has been president and may well be again.
Well, it seems very suspicious. You know, in police work, they call these clues. The thing that really was sounding off to me, though, is the fact that, you know, at a minimum, let's just go ahead and give...
Because he went... Bop, 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 bop. He was slappy happy with the trigger. No, seriously. The way the shots rang out... Okay, the way the shots were fired... Okay? This is kind of a consensus that's going on right now amongst the gun tubers.
Yeah.
So, the way the shots rang out is the guy was not... I don't have any triggers handy. I'm sorry, folks. Actually, hold on. There.
Because I remember listening to the video, and I remember hearing 3 shots in rapid succession, and then a pause, a significant pause of like a second and a half, and then 5 more shots in rapid succession.
Okay.
There was a pause.
No. Yes, the pause was the return fire. The fire after the pause was the return fire.
Okay.
See, there's your problem. Okay, because you have to listen, right? But you can go and you can sit there and you can go, right?
Yeah.
It's not going to be accurate as shit. You're going to go, it's going to suck. You're going to go all over the fucking place.
Right.
Okay? That's the problem.
And that's how he took out somebody in the crowd.
Kind of, yeah. He was kind of shaky, guaranteed. He was like sitting there shaky and shit, and because, you know, he's a pussy using an AR at 130 yards. Who the hell uses an AR at 130? Idiots.
I don't know anything about intelligence. Insert woman joke. Oh, fuck you, CW.
Every single possibilities of just negligence as opposed to something else. You know, you could have put and said there's not enough resources. All right, fine. Let's put a patrol car in the parking lot of AGR, which was...
If you yank, pulse, instead of squeeze, your shit's going to go all over the place.
Right.
Regardless, especially if you're trying to... He probably creamed his pants after the first round and then got jism happy pulling the trigger the rest of the way. Because the first one's the one that hit his ear.
Oh.
The rest of it was just extra.
So he probably thought he got him.
No, he shot and then got scared on the rest of the rounds. That's why they went and spread around. That's one theory I have. The other theory is he shot, and then just kept shooting around, trying to go in like the general vicinity.
Yeah.
That's the only way it makes sense. None of it makes sense, but that's the only way it makes sense. Back to the show.
Spray and pray. Yep, pretty much.
The company with the doors locked and the lights on. There's a deterrence. Let's look at the fact that an emergency comms channel should have been set in place for the Secret Service and the local police force in cooperation and coordination,
channel?
so that when that officer who came to the room...
Demolition Ranch, sure. All the fucking shit he was doing.
Yeah.
AR. Everything he was doing was trying to flag attention to everybody.
Yeah.
That's it. He went with the platform that was the scariest. He went with Trump. Right?
Yeah.
He wore gear that was considered to be right-wing and now is getting flagged as right-wing. Fuck, I feel bad for fucking Demo Ranch.
Yep.
But yeah, because that's what happened. Is a bunch of news agencies popped up and started calling Demolition Ranch a right-wing organization when Matt's not even political. He took his kids off the internet. I think he had a feeling this was going to happen. He took his kids off the internet years ago. But yeah.
This is insane.
Rooftop and says that he had the rifle pointed at him.
And we haven't even
could have
gotten to
immediately
Destiny
descended
yet.
and keeping himself safe, and also said, shoot her on the roof, shoot her on the roof, shoot her on the roof, which would allow the detail to have then immediately gotten on the stage to protect the president. There's so much about this, Pierce, not to mention there was a water tower that was only a couple hundred yards away, which is a sniper's paradise that people aren't even talking about. This shot, Pierce, is so simple, and I just want to paint a picture for your viewers, which is that if you were to take not even a sniper rifle, but your basic production rifle that comes off an assembly line
Like
that you
a
could
hunting
buy
rifle.
in a average store, and you were to take a person with very little experience, in 10 minutes, I could train them to be able to utilize this rifle to hit targets at a pie-sized plate at 200 yards without a problem.
Yeah, that's not... Like, he did not need a fucking AR. Again, I do not know very much. I have a very limited knowledge of guns. My grandfather is a big gun guy, but, like, I have a working knowledge of guns. Right? You don't need a fucking AR to do a 130-yard shot. Just... You could use a Remington hunting rifle. You don't need that shit at all. That was clearly just a scare tactic.
You know, actually, I mean, just on that point, when I was at CNN, I spent a day
What?
down in Texas at a gun store.
No more talking about guns.
Okay.
You know talking about guns.
Okay.
You know gun talking. No more.
A gun range. And I did end up firing an AR-15, which is believed to be the semi-automatic rifle the shooter used.
That's right.
And is the preferred weapon of choice for most mass shooters these days. And I was absolutely staggered about how light and easy it was to use, and how very quickly, how accurate I was able to fire it, never having fired guns in my entire life. So I can completely endorse what you just said.
Pierce
It is a
actually went
very
and shot an
easy to
AR.
use
That's
weapon.
kind of cool.
And he was so
Well, and
close.
it's also one that within, if you think about it, we call it minutes of angle on each rifle, which means that's essentially, it looks at your bullet trajectory, your bullet compensation, all these different things. But what you would say is that at 100 yards, you have a 1-inch grouping capability, at 200 a 2-inch, et cetera, which means that at 160 yards, that rifle, let's just say it's not even a good rifle, it's only a 2 MOA rifle, is only shooting a 3.2-inch grouping. The average head is 6x8. The average shoulder is 20 inches long. The average head to waist is 40 inches.
This guy has got to be a shooter of some kind. The way he's talking, he's got to have had some sort of
So when
training.
you think about, this is a game of milliseconds and millimeters that saved the president's life from being an attempted to an actual assassination. This is really something that I hate to say it, I have to just be like this, but it's got to be divine intervention to the thoughts that this didn't eliminate and take out the life of Donald Trump, and the fact that it should have been prevented from the beginning.
Corey, the other thing that struck me as extraordinary in terms of the way the Secret Service responded to the shooting was that after the president was...
Yes?
He has to know he's just some type of a shooter? The weapons expert?
He's a congressman. That's how he was introduced. He was introduced as a congressman.
Mm-hmm.
He wasn't introduced as anything else.
Introduced as congressman?
Yes. That's what Pierce...
He doesn't look like a congressman.
That's what Pierce said. He's a Republican congressman.
Ah, there you go. Okay, have fun.
So, that's why I'm like, what background does this dude have?
In terms of the way the Secret Service responded to the shooting, was that after the president was hit, they dragged him to the floor, but they then allowed him to stand back up. And one of the female agents in front of him was clearly a lot shorter than Donald Trump. And therefore his whole sort of upper torso, including his head, was clearly visible to potentially other shooters who may have been in the area. Which,
Yeah, why did they let... Like, I understand why he got back up. I would have done it too. I would have been like, fuck you, you can't kill me. He's bullet-toothed Tony, apparently. But just Jesus, I can't even, like, why did they let him stand up?
Nobody knew at the time. That does not strike me as normal Secret
Oh,
Service.
the reason why people like the AR is because it's cheapish and it has a lot of attachments. That's true.
Well, you know, they did a good job of putting the body barrier on him. But I will note, though, prior to actually having the president stand up, you hear one of the Secret Service officers ask, is shooters down, shooters down? So they at least were looking at the existing and the obvious threat as being mitigated. And so that is kind of within protocol.
Okay,
I do
so they
understand your
didn't do
concern
anything
as well,
wrong
which
there.
is mine, which is that there wasn't enough to actually body shield if you look at the height and the size of President Trump with someone else. This is why, and I don't mean this to be, you know, kind of hyperbolic or that it's trying to be a rhetoric to try and spin things up, but this is why when we look at the ideas of the DEI, the diversity, equity, inclusion,
Yep.
it does put things at risk when you say we need a percentage of X, right?
You can't... A woman cannot body shield a man. I'm sorry. Unless she's a fucking Amazon, a woman is not going to be an appropriate body shield for a man. It's just not going to happen. Could you imagine Piccolo trying to use me as a body shield? You have to headshot him in a second. You can't fucking use a woman, an average woman, to do body shielding. Like, maybe for a female. Like, maybe you could do it for a female, but you definitely couldn't do it for a man.
Because DEI can mean DIE. We have to think about the fact that it should be about meritocracy, and especially when you're talking about the protection of the president or other lives.
Well, it was very striking to me that last night when Trump appeared at the RNC convention to wild applause, it was an amazing scene. He looked quite emotional, actually.
I would too, because a lot of the Republicans did not like Trump, even back when he ran the first time. That's why they were called rhinos. And he... like, for the Republican Party to rally behind him after this, I think he probably did feel very emotional.
But he was surrounded by a far bigger number of Secret Service agents, all of whom appeared to be very big, tall men.
Your body shield should be taller than your nipple height.
The entire RNC, and especially here in Milwaukee, Wisconsin, has really ramped up their security protocols, and for obvious reasons. Sometimes it is a bit of a knee-jerk where they overcompensate for a failure in the past, and I think that's what they've done in some cases here when it comes to the RNC. But certainly the president, he definitely needs this protection. I agree with you. There was a different look in the president, a look of unification, a look not of fear but of defiance, and of the fact that we have to understand he also saved his own life. He did exactly what he was trained to do, which is that when you take fire, even from a tactical perspective in the military or otherwise, you drop to the ground, you minimize your silhouette, and then you go ahead and look at where the actual target, or what they call a react to contact drill, is to mitigate the threat. What the president does in his actual hour, or moments after the incident is truly remarkable.
He kept his cool. He, as much as you say what you will about Donald Trump, he kept his cool. He didn't freak out. He dropped to the floor like you should when you're taking fire. And when everything was fine, he stood up and he was put his fist in the air like, fuck you assholes, you can't take me down. And that's pretty much how you handle that.
I've trained with people who the fight or flight reaction in individuals, even being trained, they get stunned, they freeze, in the event of getting hit or getting shot. The president didn't stand in fear, he stood in defiance. And he wanted to also let the American people know that he was okay by putting his fist in the air and saying, fight, fight, fight. He meant that not in a way to try and keep the temperature high, but fight for America, fight for our republic, fight for what is right.
Keep fighting. And this is why I talk about Canadian politics, because there is something worth fighting for. There is something worth keeping going. And I think that it's very important that we fight for our country and we fight to keep it the way that it, we Canada and the US, we can get back to a good time in our countries if we stick together and we call out bullshit and we call out, suspicion and nonsense when we see it.
And I can tell you that we need to, in the political world, take it down a notch.
Yes.
And think about the fact that words matter. The things that we say matter. We have to start thinking about the humanistic qualities of people and put political ideology aside and realize that we're husbands, we're fathers, that we're sons, we're brothers, we're daughters, we're mothers. These things take priority, but this type of negligence, Pierce, does warrant, in my opinion, not just an FBI investigation. It needs to come into the House. It needs to have a J13 style commission, and we need to investigate and get all findings so we can put any type of potential conspiracies or even any concerns aside that this was done anything other than negligence.
Right, and you know, the Secret
That's
Service
very true.
director, Cheetle, was interviewed last night and said this. Let's watch a clip.
Oh.
When you saw the events unfold on Saturday?
Shock, and then concern. This is an event that should have never happened.
Who is most responsible for this happening?
What I would say is that the Secret Service is responsible for the protection of the former president.
So the buck stops with you?
Who is that?
Side that this was done anything other than negligence.
Right, and you know, the Secret Service director, Cheetle, was interviewed last night and said
Oh, that's the director of the Secret Service. Okay.
When you saw the events unfold on Saturday?
Shock, and then concern. This is an event that should have never happened.
No.
Who is most responsible for this happening?
What I would say is that the Secret Service is responsible for the protection of the former president.
So the buck stops with you?
The buck stops with me.
The President and Homeland Security Secretary said today they had 100% confidence in you, but there are some members of Congress calling on you to resign. Do you plan to stay on? Absolutely.
I do plan to stay on.
You do what? You do
Congress
blame...
calling on you to resign. Do you plan to stay on? Absolutely.
I do plan to stay on.
Are you surprised she still got the job?
You know, I'll be honest with you, the idea of saying mea culpa or that responsibility is the same as accountability has been a problem within all elected positions and appointments positions. I think that she should resign.
I agree. I absolutely agree. I think that there's no reason for her to continue to be a I just can't understand how she's still a director after going, yes, the Secret Service is at fault, but I'm going to still stay on.
I think that she should accept her failures. Leaders lead, and when they fail, they accept that failure, and they understand that it's time to step aside. But at minimum, if she refuses to step aside, when we do our actual investigations, and I hope we get a J13 style commission, I just text Speaker Johnson just now and feel that my background and kind of unique experience would be great to head this up. But I'm going to look at minimum, the Homan rule, which will take her salary down to $1, and hopefully that will encourage her to leave, because we need true leadership, Pierce, and we need to make sure that our President Biden, our Vice President Kamala Harris, our former president, who's now our nominee, President Trump, and Vice President Pence.
I'm gonna back that up
we
a
need to
minute.
make it down to $1, and hopefully that will encourage her to leave, because we need true leadership, Pierce, and we need to make sure that our President Biden, our Vice President Kamala Harris, our former president, who's now our nominee.
But she took accountability for it. She said that the Secret Service was responsible. So why is this a problem?
President Trump and Vice President Vance will ensure that they're safe. This is not a political thing. This is about Americans being safe to be able to go ahead and serve our nation without fear.
Yeah, and also I'd add RFK Jr., who was on my show only 2 weeks ago, bemoaning the fact that even though his name is Kennedy, and both his father and his uncle were both assassinated for political motivation,
it was
he was
President
still not
Trump
allowed
who
to have a
was
Secret
pushing for
Service detail. He now has. Let's take a look at what he told me, actually, and I'll get your response.
I'm gonna
assassinated
for
political motive. Both his father and his uncle were both assassinated.
Oh, RFK Jr. That's who he's talking about.
That's
for political motivation.
It was
he was still
President
not
Trump
allowed
who
to have a
was
Secret
pushing for
Service detail. He now has. Let's take a look at what he told me, actually, and I'll get your response.
Yes, diversity,
First
equity, and inclusion.
candidate in
Hello,
history
Tyler Lee.
Whose requested Secret Service protection has been denied. I've had several credible threats on my life. The Secret Service itself, we provided them 68 pages of detailed death threats and other threats against me. And they They examined my case and they said that I was at a accelerated risk. The White House still has refused to give me protection.
Really? They even said themselves that he was at an accelerated risk, and they still wouldn't protect him? Why? Just because he's a Kennedy?
And it's only now that there was an assassination attempt on Donald Trump that he's finally, that Biden has finally allowed him to have a Secret Service
that's nice.
detail, which seems to me shamefully too late.
Pierce, it's shameful, it's unconscionable the fact that an individual, just because he doesn't sit within a Democrat Party or Republican Party, is any less deserving of his safety and protection, and especially a man who, as you pointed out, had his father and his uncle assassinated and killed, a man who has credible threats against his life from either side. The bottom line is, Pierce, is that this cannot be about partisan politics. If this individual is running for presidency, if he can tangibly show that he's at risk, why would you not allocate the necessary resources to keep this man safe?
Because he doesn't align politically with my beliefs, and I don't like that. That's why. This is the problem with Joe Biden and all of this. It's as long as you align politically with what I say, then you're fine. But if you don't align with what I say politically, well, then you're on your own tough shit. And that's just not okay.
Congressman Corey Mills, thank you very much indeed for joining me. I appreciate it.
Thank you, Pierce. Honored.
Well, join me now is commentator and streamer Destiny, host of the Dave Rubin Show, Dave Rubin, co-founder of the Young Turks, Cenk Uygur, and the Outkick host, Charlie Arnold. Well, welcome.
Oh my God, we've got Destiny, Cenk Uygur, Dave Rubin, and who?
Rubin, co-founder of the Young Turks, Cenk Uygur, and the Outkick host, Charlie Arnold. Well,
that guy I don't know. I don't know this Charlie dude. But Cenk, Dave Rubin. Oh, Charlie Barlow's a woman? Okay. Sorry. I don't know who that chick is. But, so we've got Dave Rubin, Cenk Uygur, and Destiny. Oh boy. This ought to be good.
Welcome to all of you. Cenk Uygur, we've spoken a lot about this presidential race over the last year. Where are we now with this? Is it right to assume that two things have happened as a result of this attempted assassination? One is that Donald Trump has got exponentially more popular.
Yep.
Because people feel a real empathy with him for what happened. And secondly, that Joe Biden is more likely than not now to remain the Democrat nominee.
Yeah. So there's no reason to unilaterally surrender to Donald Trump now, but that's what it looks like the Democrats are doing.
No, they're not unilaterally surrendering, Cenk. They just have literally nothing, and the Republicans have everything. That's just not like the Democrats have nothing to run on.
So I hope that they pick up the campaign to oust Biden again, because he's clearly not going to win. All the interviews are disasters. I don't want to surrender to Trump, but apparently Democratic officials are considering it, which would be just keeping Biden in the race. That is a form of surrender.
Yeah, at this point, keeping Biden in the race really is a form of surrender, but who are they going to put up? Like, what candidate do they have other than Joe Biden? Like, Kamala? Do you think she's going to do any better against Trump? Because I don't think so.
Because they don't want to waste any of their so-called talent because they're so despondent about the race. I think that's pathetic. They should fight. And if they have a new ticket, they still have a perfectly good chance of beating Donald Trump. Now, I do want to say, though, there's a second topic here. Your interview with Corey Mills, Representative Mills there, I think it was dangerous and wrong. So you guys said, oh, well, you know, this shouldn't be a partisan thing and we should turn down the rhetoric. And then you implied that maybe the Secret Service or the Biden administration allowed the shooting to happen.
Because I'm sorry, Cenk. I'm sorry. I'm going to use a phrase that's told to me all the time. If it looks like a duck and it quacks like a duck, is it a goose or a duck?
Well, no,
that's
nobody.
Nuts.
No,
That's
no,
not
hang on.
turning.
Nobody.
No,
nobody
you
implied
definitely
that.
did.
And
You
nobody
definitely did, Pierce.
Well, I certainly did.
You kept talking about, well, look, I'm not saying conspiracy theory, but hey, it's so easy to find.
Just
why
to
didn't
correct
they
you,
find
Jake,
it?
just to
You
correct-
didn't, and you didn't
Hang
just
on.
say negligence.
Hang on, I didn't.
And forget about you, Corey Mills.
Right, okay.
He didn't say,
Just to
oh,
be
hey,
clear,
look, hey.
okay.
He said maybe it's
Let
not
me
just
respond.
malpractice. Maybe it's not just negligence.
I didn't.
What does
I
that
didn't
mean?
say that.
Is
I
a
didn't-
lunatic suggesting?
Am I allowed
that,
to respond?
Yeah, go ahead.
Okay. First of all, I didn't say anything that you just said.
No, he didn't.
Secondly, he did raise the spectre that there's something very odd about this. And by the way, there is. I'm not a conspiracy theorist either. But the idea that the President Trump, who was recently the President of the United States and is very likely to be again, was shot from 150 meters by a kid with an AR-15 who was seen by spectators nearly a minute before he unloaded 8 bullets in the direction of Donald Trump is very, very strange. And
Yeah. That is weird. That is weird that he managed to get up there and be seen by different people and still not be taken down before he managed to shoot. It's weird. It's a weird like situation.
And if you don't think it is, then I think you're being a little bit disingenuous. Now, what is
Okay,
the
so
nature?
you are
What is the
conspiracy
nature of that strangeness?
You are a conspiracy
We don't know what's happened here, right? But no one.
Yeah, we don't know that it was the Secret Service planning this, but we do know that it was a lapse in protection. That's what it is. It's a lapse in protection.
No one can yet give a legitimate explanation as to why this could possibly have happened.
Pierce, if you say it's negligence, I'm with you. If you say it's malpractice, okay, I get it. 160 feet, why is he on the roof, etc. But you're clearly implying that it is odd, as in not negligence, but something that was planned by the government.
No, I'm not. I don't know.
Hey, get out of here, man. What the hell? Jesus Christ with these lunatic Republicans. As in not negligence, but something that, okay, I get it. 160 feet, why is he on the roof, etc. But you're clearly implying that it is odd, as in not negligence, but something that was planned by the government.
No, things can be odd and still negligence. Who is saying that? Literally, who is saying that? That things can't be odd and still be negligence? Like...
No, I'm not. I don't know.
Hey, get out of here, man. What the hell? Jesus Christ with these lunatic Republicans. Total lunatic Republicans. Yeah, go ahead. Tell me your lunatic conspiracy theory about how odd
I don't have any lunatic conspiracy
Wait,
theories.
did Cenk just call Piers Morgan a lunatic Republican? Pierce isn't even American, you weirdo. How can he be a Republican or a Democrat? He doesn't even vote there. What are you talking about?
Go ahead. Tell me your lunatic conspiracy theory about how odd
I don't have any lunatic conspiracy theories. Do you not think it's odd, Cenk Uygur, that this kid could
it's crazy
stroll
that
across a roof unmanned and just fire off 8 bullets at President Trump from 150 meters? Do you not
Yeah,
find
that is
odd?
weird.
So I find it deeply troubling. I think that there should be an investigation to see how they screwed this up. I think the fact that they didn't get there on the roof quicker speaks poorly of them. On the other hand, can we acknowledge that the Secret Service surrounded the president and would have taken a bullet for him and would have died for him, but all they're getting now is odd conspiracy theories about how maybe...
Actually,
aren't you implying... Hold on, Pierce, you tell me. Aren't you implying that they let it happen?
No.
Aren't you implying that, obviously? What does odd mean? What does odd mean?
No,
Go ahead.
That's not... Somebody jumped on Cenk's camera. Oh, okay. Okay. That makes more sense. But this is just unhinged.
That they let it happen?
No.
Aren't you implying that?
No.
Obviously.
No.
What does odd mean? What does odd mean?
No,
Go
I'll
ahead.
tell you what
odd means.
I'll tell you what odd means. Odd means that the Secret Service's primary function is to preserve the life of whoever is President of the United States, right? And they allowed this roof to be unmanned.
Allow.
Yes, they allowed it to be unmanned. Yes. They allowed it to be unmanned. That was a mistake.
Allow, you use the word allow.
Okay, somebody made a decision not to have that roof patrolled, even though, as
you
we've
don't
heard,
even know that.
Hang on. Well, somebody did because it wasn't patrolled.
Right? Like, the very lack of patrol on the roof means that that decision was made, you dumbass.
No, that's also not true.
Well, it is,
so look,
it is true.
Here's, we don't know the last time they looked at that roof. We don't know if they looked at it and then the guy crawled on after.
Here's what we do know.
Now, you mentioned,
Here's
hold
what
on,
we do
hold
know.
on.
There was nobody on the roof from the Secret Service. Why?
So you're telling me that you know that under Biden, Trump, and all the other presidents, that every roof had a Secret Service person on it in every row. You don't know that. You don't know that.
Can you ever remember a president or presidential candidate who was a president giving a speech at a public rally where a roof 150 meters from his head is unprotected by Secret Service?
That's a very good question. What roof within shooting distance of the president's head ever before has not been unprotected or unmanned?
Can you name once
How the
ever
hell would I
that that's
know that?
happened?
How the hell would you, Pierce? How the hell would you know?
I'd rather have a conspiracy theory nutter than a nutter who wants to fuck horses. Odd, as in not even numbers, such as 1, 3, 5. The news is not looking at the clips of this guy. Oops. The news is not looking at the clips of this guy. And the reports ignored and dismissed.
I don't know anything.
I am told
so
by,
if you say to me,
I've been
hold on. If you say to me,
I've been
Peter,
told
let me
by
answer.
listen, I've been told by many experts in the last 36 hours.
Like that lunatic Republican you just had on, who's an expert.
Actually, no.
Talking about, oh my God, oh yeah.
By that lunatic Republican. He seemed pretty rational to me. He seemed pretty rational to me, saying that, you know, you can't rely on DEI to fucking, you know, run things. The only thing I didn't like was him scapegoating the director of the Secret Service. But this just is, again, straight out of Chank's playbook.
Oh, I'm not sure.
Well, he was
I don't
also
think it's just negligence. Then what does that mean?
Okay.
Then you think it was allowed.
Actually,
you
the
think it was
congressman.
planned.
Actually,
who planned it? Who planned it?
Actually, the congressman that I spoke to was on the sniper protection detail for Joe Biden when he was vice president. He probably knows more about it than you do.
Well, there's his background. He was part of the sniper detail when protecting Vice President Joe Biden. Well, there's his background for you. And yeah, I would say he knows a little bit more about the situation than you do, Jack.
With great respect.
Okay.
Unless you're about to tell me you are a covert sniper protector, are you?
No, I'm telling you that we don't know anything about when they checked the building. We do know that there was a red-haired guy who talked to the BBC. He told the cops, then the cops showed up. It's not like they didn't show up. And so if you say, hey, we should investigate and find out when was the last time they did the perimeter check? When did they get on that roof? I totally agree. If you say negligence, I totally agree. If you say Trump was brave in that moment, I totally agree.
Do you? Do you really? Because it sounds like you're about to say but. I feel like you're about to say a but. Denial is the most predictable human reaction. Yep.
But if you start implying, which you definitely are, and Corey Mills definitely is, that it was planned or that it was so odd that it happened, you're saying it like the Epstein thing was odd. The Epstein thing was actually odd. So I'm...
The Epstein thing was actually odd. Really? Really? You think that was really odd, but this isn't? Holy shit, Cenk.
Yeah, the video camera's out. That makes me think yes, there was something planned. I'm brave enough to say that. Instead, you're implying it. Corey Mills is implying it. So just say it then.
No.
Don't tell. What does odd mean?
Okay, again, I will say to you, I am not saying anything was planned. I'm not saying there was any inside job at the Secret Service to allow this to happen. I am simply saying...
You're implying that. You get that, right?
Here's what I'm implying.
Here's
what I'm implying.
The viewer's going to think.
Here's what I'm implying. There was such a catastrophically negligent failure here by the Secret Service. I completely understand why so many people are utterly bemused that this could ever have been allowed to happen. The idea you have a perfect vantage point over Donald Trump from 150 meters at a public rally, given how divisive and polarizing he is, given how vehemently some people hate him, and given the threats of violence he's had on many, many occasions, the idea that that roof remained unmanned by Secret Service is to me very bloody odd.
Yes. The fact that there are so many people that actively, vitriolically hate the man. Then Joe Biden uses the word bullseye. Then we have this happen. But we're not allowed to say that it's a little bit odd. But you're gonna sit there and go, yeah, the Epstein thing was weird. Really? The Epstein thing was weird, but this isn't. This is negligence, but the Epstein thing was weird. I don't think so. I don't fucking think so. We're at the halfway point of this video, and I need to make a bathroom break. So I'm gonna get a bathroom break and get a drink of water. If you guys want me to drink that awful medicine-tasting vodka drink, it's $30 to Streamlabs, and you get to watch me drink it on camera, or do shots of it for $5 a pop. But I will be right back. I gotta do a bathroom break. Share the stream while I'm gone. Okay. We're back. Sorry, it took longer than I wanted to. I had to take my vitamin D and I got a pill of it stuck in my damn throat. That was gross. Nothing worse than a pill going all chalky. Remember, kids, drink the water after swallowing the pills. Yes, dear. Yes, dear. I understand. Okay. Let's get back to this video. Because I want to see what Destiny has to say.
Cenk, yes.
So you're implying that there is a chance that it was planned?
No, I'm not. I'm implying
that's literally what you just said.
Literally what I'm doing is implying that there's something we don't know about what's happened here, and we need some answers.
Then what would it be?
We need some answers.
What would it be? I don't know, Cenk. That would be the something in my sentence. That would be why I used the word something.
I have no idea. I don't know. Now let me go to some of the other panelists, because we've expended a lot of energy on this. I think, Cenk, you have to go, so I appreciate you. I appreciate you calling me a conspiracy theorist. Thank you for joining me. Let me go to Dave Rubin.
Anytime.
All right, thank you. Let me go to Dave Rubin. Dave Rubin, this is the problem. If you can't raise questions, serious questions about what's happened here, or suggest that it's odd, without being branded a conspiracy theorist by people like Cenk Uygur, there's a bit of a problem, isn't there? I mean, it seemed to me, not just negligence. There's something very strange about this whole incident and how it unfurled.
Yeah, this doesn't, and you don't have to be a conspiracy theorist to go, why did all of these things happen in the way that they did? I mean, I don't understand why it's so bad to even consider this. The entire Epstein case is more than odd. It's negligent. See, exactly. Parody Bear. Exactly. So,
I've never seen members of the public, nearly a minute before a shooting at a president, raising the alarm and telling people the guy's on the roof. Have you?
Yeah, well, Piers, I haven't been on camera with that guy in about 8 years, but I'm just reminded of the brain-piercing, serious headache you get listening to him. You just laid out very calm and cogent questions as to what happened to the man who is the ex-president and could be future president of the United States. There was either a catastrophic failure, which we're all acknowledging, or something more nefarious. All we can do is ask questions. The red-headed guy with the visor who was interviewed on the BBC saying that it was probably about 2 minutes, and we'll find out the exact details on that, about 2 minutes before, where he was warning law enforcement that there was someone on the roof. Well, in 2 minutes, Piers, right now I have an IFB in my ear. I have a microphone right here. That's what all of the agents around there have. And they're all connected to a network of people who are telling them where to look and what to do. I'm not an of course, and I'm not an expert in this, but we all know this. Corey Mills happens to be an expert, and your interview was quite good with him. So the idea that 2 minutes went by and nobody looked at the roof, and by the way, the Secret Service director is now saying the reason they didn't have anyone staged on that roof was because there was a slope on the roof, and they didn't want one of their agents to get hurt. I mean, I've got roofers out on my roof right now. There's a little bit of a slope. They have special shoes. They make it work. The whole thing is insane, but I would say at the political level, this has re-energized not just the Trump base, which was energized, but this new wide swath of disaffected liberals and UFC fighters and NFL players.
For sure. Like, the amount of people who just probably weren't gonna vote just decided who they were gonna vote for. This whole thing just solidified a whole bunch of undecided voters. That's my prediction here, is that this, we probably would have seen kind of like a meh turnout for voting in the next U.S. election. Not now. Not now. There's a huge amount of... Dave Rubin's right. There's a huge amount of undecided people or disenfranchised people who have now just figured out who they're going to vote for.
Just good, decent Americans to realize that Donald Trump is not the enemy right now. And this fake call for unity. Yes, I would like unity in a land of unicorns and everything else, but you can't on one day spend 4 years basically calling the guy Hitler and his supporters Nazi. Then he gets shots, and now we should have unity is just nonsense. I'm sorry.
And also for the current president of the United States to be asked, do you have any soul searching about the language you've used, given that days before this shooting, he told donors that it was time to put Trump in the bullseye, and then he tries to dance his way out of this by claiming, I didn't say crosshairs, as if somehow when you talk about human beings, bullseye or crosshairs mean any difference.
Yeah, they literally mean the same thing. They literally mean the same thing, and it is in reference to shooting.
Obviously, he didn't mean, I think Donald Trump should be shot.
No.
But obviously, if you're a deranged young lunatic with an impressionable mind, who the hell knows what that kind of language? We don't know yet. Right, about any of the motivation. Apparently there's a kind of very, very strange, again, a very strange lack of information that they've been able to find out about this young shooter.
Why can we not find information on this guy? Why, like all the other shooters that have we've talked about, we've had information on them within hours. Why are we not getting information on this guy? And why is voiceover not talking? Voiceover off. Voiceover on.
Okay.
Fucking planned obsolescence. I'm gonna break your phone. I've seen videos from the black community going going chanting Trump and MAGA. Really? Sweet, where's the infinite money cheat code? Right? Fuck.
Here's, of course, but you also have to understand that there has been an entire media machine, mainstream media machine, and Democrat elite that for.
But see, that's weird. Like with the Christchurch guy, we had his manifesto within a day. With the Pulse nightclub, like again within a day, we had information. Why is it taking so long to find out what this guy's motive was?
For years, since before Donald Trump was president, have been calling him Hitler and his supporters Nazis. What would someone do if they truly believe that? I'm not directly linking this to Biden's bullseye comment, as irresponsible as it may be, or anyone else's specific comment. But over time in culture, if things get normalized, and yes, this man is going to put us in camps, and you can turn on MSNBC on any given day, and they're talking about how they're all going to be arrested and taken off the air.
Yeah, the fear-mongering about how Trump is just gonna come in and it's only gonna be Fox News and Breitbart that are allowed to report the news, like all this crazy fear-mongering, and then it's coming up here where we've got Trudeau going, Pierre Poilievre is a mini Donald Trump, and it's like, where?
And what he's going to do to minorities and gays and everything else, all utter complete nonsense. At some point, people might get a subtle message and then do something crazy. Again, we don't know if that was what happened right now, but we certainly can ask about it.
Yeah, I think we'll do that after this is done, because we are 27 minutes in, so we're over halfway.
I want both sides to dial it down, because actually where this leads to is where it's led to. And in Britain, we've had 2 members of parliament in the last 10 years murdered by people for political reasons, basically because, lunatics have wanted to eliminate them.
Yeah.
Let me bring in Destiny, because you've been at the center, as you know, of a massive online response to what you were saying. And I want to go
a massive online response. That's a polite way of putting it.
Through what you said, and I want to talk to you about this hopefully in a calm manner to try and understand what you were thinking. So on Saturday evening, hours after the shooting, You said, let me clarify, when I say conflicted, what I mean is I lean towards seeing it as a natural extension of the thing Trump and the MAGA kids support. So I don't think I have much sympathy about the attempt enough to chastise people celebrating it. You couldn't find it in your heart to chastise people for celebrating the near assassination of a man who was president of the United States and maybe again?
Absolutely not. Conservatives have completely bled that well dry.
Conservatives have bled the empathy well dry, have they? I'm sorry. Which side touts the lived experience and the feelings and what? Destiny?
And the idea that they, after engaging in the most divisive and most extreme rhetoric that this country has seen in recent history.
Yes, you're right. Joe Biden does engage. Oh, you meant Trump. Not Joe Biden. You meant Trump.
That they would come on and beg for sympathy, that it's escalated into some kind of violent confrontation is absolutely insane. Even the idea right now of saying, well, if you call somebody a Nazi for so long, it's, what do you expect people to do? I grew up listening to Rush Limbaugh call Obama a communist.
Because he was a communist. I'm sorry, I don't like Rush Limbaugh. I think Rush Limbaugh is an idiot, but Obama was very, very much, if not a communist, a socialist. He was.
Every single day he was on the radio. You've got conservatives that talk about how the mRNA vaccines were ways to sneak microchips into us. You've got COVID lockdowns that were done because the government was trying to take all your freedom away.
Because they did take all the freedom away. They did take all the freedom away, Destiny. Where the hell were you?
They won't acknowledge anything that happened on January 6th.
Oh.
I was listening to the same Rush Limbaugh broadcast Steve was fucking listening to in LA at the same fucking time. We know the same shit, and yes, it was annoying. I watched him with the Bush shit. Okay?
I'm sorry, but looking back at Obama, was he wrong?
Yes. He was.
Okay.
No, let's leave that alone.
Okay.
Could have been worse.
I
was gone before Obama. I did just like I was out of California before Arnold. I didn't have to worry. I didn't have to worry about Newsom. I didn't have to worry about all this new shit. We had fucking big bad Jerry Brown. The worst we had was Edison Power shutting off the fucking, giving us rolling blackouts and shit.
Isn't that still a thing in California?
I don't know. I don't even know if it's California Edison anymore. Do they even know the Angels anymore?
They say that the election was stolen and that your country is being taken from you.
I'm sorry, but January 6th was stupid. There was nothing violent. Yes, Ashley Babbitt died, and 3 days later somebody else died of a heart attack. Okay? But, they're... Baked fucking Alaska with his feet up on Nancy Pelosi's desk. Is that fucking... If you think that's dangerous, then get off the internet, Destiny. If you think what happened on January 6th was violence and dangerous, then your language that you use in some of your debates is genocide. Okay? That's how stupid you sound right now.
I don't think anybody should be killed. I don't think anybody should go out and kill anybody. But when you engage in this type of rhetoric and when you turn the temperature up over and over and over and over again, there is absolutely no room for you to be shocked or surprised. And there certainly isn't room for you to ask for sympathy.
But Destiny, you say you don't want anybody killed, and yet you say, I don't think I have much sympathy about the attempt to chastise people celebrating it.
Yeah, that doesn't make sense. How can you say I don't want anybody killed, but I'm not gonna chastise people celebrating the fact that he was almost killed? How does that work? That's just insane.
People celebrating the near assassination of Donald Trump, if you can't find it in you to chastise people who do that, aren't you just as despicable
Yes.
as the people you've just spent the last 2 minutes haranguing?
No, because they've led the way. This is the
No, because they led the. Oh my God! He's doing the same thing that the dude Pinkala was arguing on Twitter was doing. It's okay if I do it, or if this violence happens, because it's not as bad as this violence. Or they started it. Holy shit. Holy shit. They started it, is Destiny's argument. They started it, so it's fine. What are you, 5?
Environment that they've created.
So you think behaving like the people you think are despicable is the correct course of action?
Not about behaving like the people who are despicable would be leading that type of rhetoric. It would be denying every single bad thing. How many times as a liberal? How many times as a liberal have you been on a show? Not you in general, but like a liberal been on a show and you've been forced to disavow all of the BLM riots, disavow all of the violence, and blah blah blah. And then you talk to conservatives about it. January 6th. That was
that's
false
good.
flag.
Yeah.
January 6th. Oh, like conservatives disavow January 6th?
Yeah, most of them do. Most of them go, that was really stupid. I don't see many people going, yeah, January 6th was super successful and bully us. Lauren Southern slept with this idiot, haha. Right? I can't believe Lauren Southern actually slept with him.
Wait. First off, there's an entire cultural machine that has lied. There is an entire
we just saw it in real time. That's it.
What?
That's why conservatives deserve absolutely zero sympathy for anything that happens as a result of their rhetoric. That's it. It's so easy. Like, it's so simple.
Okay, but
I'm not exactly sure what he's talking about, but I would say this is the type of person that the internet has broke their brain, thus leaving them with very little empathy for their co-human. I mean, a good...
Yep. And you see it when Destiny streams. Destiny has zero empathy for people that he's talking to. Even the people that he claims to be friends with. Like, he doesn't pay attention to them while they're talking to him on his stream. Like, even when he's debating people, if he feels like he's winning, he'll just start typing. He'll just start fucking... I've seen him play the piano with people, like, instead of, like, paying attention to... He has no fucking empathy for, or sympathy for anybody that he talks to. Well, sadly, this is what the media narrative in the U.S. created on both sides, really. People think glorifying political violence is okay now. Yep. There's obviously nefarious shit on a demonic level. Nothing's going to happen if Trump becomes president again. Nothing happened the first time. These people are nuts. The left is extreme in policy. Yeah. It's only now after this happened that the media narrative is changing. That Boogie takedown stream was awesome. It was! And that's why I think people are so upset with Destiny right now, because this is happening on the heels of the Boogie takedown so fucking quickly that they're like, how can I juxtapose these two different sides of the same person?
Decent father is now dead because of this. He's had his brains blown out because he was defending his wife and daughter. I would hope that you have a little empathy for that.
Let me jump in there, because we have a clip of what Destiny has said about that very thing. Let's listen to this.
Fuck it. Fuck the dude, the firefighter guy. Fuck Trump. Fuck the people that support him. I just want you to know, okay? Just in case you're confused or it seems like I'm, you don't, whatever.
Wait, fuck the dude that actually died? Seriously, Steve? Fuck the dude that actually died. Wow. Wow.
The firefighter guy. Fuck Trump. Fuck the people that support him. I just want you to know, okay? Just in case you're confused or it seems like I'm, you don't, whatever. If one of you were in the crowd and you're a conservative fan of mine and you end up, getting blown away or whatever the fuck, I'm making fun of you the next day on Twitter. I am. 100%.
I mean, I got to say, I just found that repulsive. Destiny.
You're a conservative fan of mine, and you...
No, if he's gonna be this shitty, he's Steve. If he's gonna be this much of a shitbag, he's Steven now.
end up, you know...
Just like, no, because that's what Lav would call him, and I'm not going to be Lav.
Getting blown away or whatever the fuck, I'm making fun of you the next day on Twitter. I am, 100%. And you end up, you know, whatever. If one of you were in the crowd, and you're a conservative fan of mine, and you end up, you know, getting blown away or whatever the fuck, I'm making fun of you the next day on Twitter. I am, 100%.
You're a I'm... Remind me after the stream to go unsubscribe from Destiny. Holy shit. That's fucked up. That is just fucked. How could you say something? If you're a conservative fan of mine and you're in the crowd and you die, I'm making fun of you on Twitter the next day. And this is after the guy died and there's another person fighting for their life.
I mean, I gotta say, I just found that repulsive, Destiny.
I wish that you... there is no room. There is no room for the hand-wringing, and I will not participate in this anymore.
Oh, it's not hand-wringing.
The hand-wringing... No, it absolutely is.
No, it's just that you are positioning yourself...
So well.
No, but Destiny, let me explain to you.
Where conservatives can say anything.
No, I'm not a conservative.
They can have any conspiracy theory.
I'm not a conservative.
They can have any plot. They can do anything, and then liberals are supposed to sit here and be like, oh my God, it's...
Oh, you poor thing, you. It's not like you've had the upper hand politically for the last 40 fucking years. Even when you've had Republicans in power, the fucking Senate's been Democrat. So what the fuck are you talking about? What in the fuck are you talking about? How... Like, he really must be broken. Melina broke him.
So tragic.
No, Destiny.
Absolutely not.
Let me explain.
Absolutely.
Let me explain my position because I'm not a conservative. I'm not on either side in your race, right?
Yeah, he's a dirty centrist, just like me, and Pincalo.
Here's what I think about what you did. You'd like to fire off, as you've done so far in this debate, about your fury at how disgusting Republicans are, how inhumane they are, how they never have any empathy, blah, 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 blah. And then you yourself actually are exactly the person that you're describing.
Yep.
You are inhuman. You are somebody who seems almost gleeful that a young firefighter with a family, with a wife and children, who he was protecting as he was shot dead, that he deserved what was coming to him because he went to a President Trump.
Because he was a Republican and he dared to support Trump. Therefore, he deserves to no longer be in existence. And his wife and children no longer have a husband and a father. This kid is projection personified. He thinks he's justified in this. He thinks conservatives would do the same, say the same, and act the same with zero evidence. Yeah, you're right there, Parody Bear. You're absolutely correct.
Rally. A man who was President of the United States until recently for 4 years and maybe again. You sound almost gleeful, Destiny, and I'm sorry. That makes you, frankly, despicable.
It does.
I don't think I'm gleeful about anything.
Oh, yeah, you are. You literally are. You sounded in that clip like you were smiling.
I don't think anybody should die. I don't think anybody deserves to die.
Yes, you do. You literally said, fuck that guy. You do not care that a man died.
But you want to talk about gleeful? Look at the conservative response to Pelosi's husband when they broke in.
I can answer that.
Mainstream media figures
I can answer that.
I don't care.
I can answer that.
With all due respect, I don't care what your answer is.
Let me answer that.
The reality is that
Destiny, you know how you get really pissed off when you have a point to make and people won't shut the fuck up because they know you have a valid point to make? Yeah, you're doing that exact thing.
Conservatives have been turning the temperature up on the rhetoric. They have been making fun of these types of events for years, and now when something happens to them, now they're looking for sympathy.
Oh, I need that Buzz Lightyear clip. You are a sad, strange little man.
sympathy from the liberal side? Absolutely not. It's insane. It's unhinged that you can conduct yourself in such a manner and expect people to feel sorry when things happen.
Why should anybody on the right listen to a word of your hectoring and lecturing about how they should behave? And by the way, for the record, the mockery of Nancy Pelosi's husband when he was attacked by an intruder with a hammer was also despicable.
Yeah, it was. It was. Just, this is again, this whole, my violence is okay, but your violence is not.
Right? I can see despicable behavior on all sides.
Yep.
I'm happy to call it out when I see it.
Yep.
You, however, want to present yourself as this great kind of standard bearer of decency who sees outrageous behavior on the right time and again and is incensed by this disgusting, inhumane behavior. And yet time and again, since the attempted assassination of Donald Trump, you have displayed exactly the same kind of inhumane behavior. Fuck him about a fireman who is killed because he attends a rally of a guy he wants to vote for.
Yeah, what happened to, well, he's not who I would vote for, but you go ahead and exercise your democratic right. What happened to that? Now it's fuck you because you wanted to vote for the guy that I hate, so therefore fuck you, you're dead, who cares?
My issue with the MAGA kids is not that they are not empathetic. My issue is that they support a president that let in.
The fact that you're even calling them the MAGA kids, like there's some fan club. Like, what was last week? Oh, yeah, no, that was, yeah.
Insurrection against the United States. I'm not here to tone police over their empathy.
80
I'm just
million
saying that if you're
people
gonna
voted
ask
for Donald
empathy,
Trump last time round.
That's great. 80 million people voted for a guy that tried to insurrect the government. And it
No, he didn't. There's no evidence that he was involved in that. Even they found that he wasn't involved in the insurrection. It's not even an insurrection. That's why they're not charging him with that. That's why he's allowed to run again, you dumbass. Do you think if he was actually charged with staging an insurrection, they'd let him be on the ballot? Are you're supposed to be semi-intelligent.
It looks like they might try to do it again. I mean, like, I don't know what you want me to say. These are the facts on the ground. The idea that
so you don't like attacks on democracy. So presumably you would unreservedly condemn the attempted assassination of Donald Trump, because that's one of the most egregious attacks on American democracy of modern times. Presumably,
I don't think that
you will
anybody
take
should
this
be trying
opportunity,
to-
given you
I
are
don't
so
think anybody-
determined to protect the integrity of democracy, you would find it absolutely outrageous that someone has tried to assassinate a president, right?
If the other conservatives on this show want to say that it was absolutely outrageous...
Holy shit! They already have!
Who, the government?
I'm asking you.
Then maybe I would. Yeah, no, I'm not going to get on my knees and beg for forgiveness or show sympathy to conservatives.
From you dirty, dirty conservatives. Blech. I'm not going to beg for... Did he just basically say his own version of I will take no lessons from the conservatives? Holy shit, he did.
I'm not asking for that. I'm asking you to condemn what happened as an egregious attack on democracy. Can you do that?
No, I won't. No, I won't.
You can't do that. You see, so why the hell, frankly, Destiny,
absolutely not.
why the hell should we listen to a word you have to say about...
Hold on. Why do you think conservatives haven't been listening to a word that liberals have said about anything for 8
Oh,
years?
that's bullshit. Why are we able to quote you so often then? If conservatives and centrists don't listen to what liberals have to say, why are we able to spout it back to you verbatim so that you go, I didn't say that? And then we come with receipts. And I didn't say that. Why is it that we're all able to do that if we don't listen to what liberals say?
Why should they?
You think that if liberals come out now and they go, oh my god, this was so horrible, you think they're going to go, wow, that is true. Maybe that should also, like,
Charlie, I'll bring you in at the end of this, I promise you, and you'll get a good chance to respond. But here's my problem, Destiny, with your whole position on this, right? Is that you don't actually have anything inside you that you want the other side to have. You don't have any of the empathy. You don't have any sympathy. You don't care that someone tried to assassinate Donald Trump. You don't care that a young fireman with a family was killed in the process. You don't actually. You are not the person you want these other people to be. And all you do is play whataboutery with every question I give you.
Yeah, he is. And that's the other thing that is really funny, because Destiny always calls out whataboutism when he's being debated. Sorry, I need to stand up for a minute. Destiny is always being called out Destiny is always calling out whataboutism when it's thrown at him on his streams. But the minute he gets questioned about something, he throws whataboutism.
And I'm just startled.
What about it? We're talking about Donald Trump. We're talking about the temperature of this country. But here's a question for the two panelists. What percentage of this event happening was due to Donald Trump's rhetoric? What do they think the answer to that question is?
What percentage could it be that the other side, as we've just heard from Dave Rubin, has spent 8 years calling Donald Trump the new Adolf Hitler, a person who was responsible for the murder of 12 million people, including 6 million Jewish people, in a Holocaust. Last time I checked, Donald Trump hasn't murdered 12 million people.
He hasn't murdered anybody. Let alone, he hasn't even murdered one person, let alone 12 million.
So much as you would like him to be the new Hitler, he's not. But again, to an impressionable young deranged mind who has easy access to guns, that can be easily interpreted as an existential threat, said President Biden. Somebody that needs to be put in the bullseye, said Biden.
Okay,
only last week. And guess what? Somebody then comes forward and tries to kill the ex.
I love how Pierce is. What? Yep. He sure does.
More divisive rhetoric. Who is engaged in more divisive rhetoric over the 8 years? If you had to guess, if you had to assign a rough percentage,
again, you're playing whataboutery.
I
Again,
would
you're
say
deflecting.
that the liberals are.
It's not whataboutery.
Just as Joe Biden did last night, just as Joe Biden did with Lester Holt on NBC last night, every time he was asked, have you done any soul searching about your own rhetoric, your own ill-advised use of language, he deflected it back to attacks on Trump.
Yep.
And you're doing exactly the same thing with Republicans.
And I will do the exact same thing.
You say Republicans
And I will do the exact same thing, because I think it's valid and justified. Because in my mind, we're just gonna turn about as fair play, and two wrongs make a right.
You want Biden
You say
to
that they
disavow
are
a
lacking in
bullseye comment when Donald Trump was saying Second Amendment people could maybe do something about Hillary Clinton. Like, no, it's absolutely deranged.
never
The
said
double
that.
standard that's being asked here is insane. And you heard both of them say it earlier. How much did Donald Trump's rhetoric contribute to the current environment? Oh, not much at all. Like, no, yeah, I'm not going to say anything to these people. Of course not.
You see, Destiny,
seem oddly unversed in any of the current events that have happened over the last couple of years. First off, politics is downstream from culture, right? And what has happened to our culture in the last 8 years? What has happened to our culture is that the mainstream media has lied about everything, always to the detriment of right-leaning people, whether it is the Russia hoax or COVID or Brett Kavanaugh's a serial rapist or the...
Yeah, literally everything. That's why nobody trusts vaccines anymore. Because they didn't tell us about the vaccine properly. They didn't give us all the information. Now everybody thinks all vaccines are fucking evil. Well, not everybody, but a lot of people think all vaccines are evil. We've got the whole, like, Trump is Hitler thing. We've got the whole Brett Kavanaugh is a rapist thing. Like, all of this nonsense.
The Covington kids are racist, or Jesse Smollett was hoaxed, was lynched, or whether it was very fine people on both sides. Every single lie always goes against right-leaning people, so they are slightly
He's gonna try to win by injecting
distrustful
his sad little interruption smoke screen. What's that over there? Yep.
Of people like you and other people in mainstream media who lie about literally everything. So perhaps
literally
their
everything,
empathy,
like biolabs and
perhaps
Nazis in
their-
Ukraine, or like mRNA vaccines that are
there are
causing
Nazis in
20%
Ukraine.
excess deaths.
mRNA vaccines that really aren't working very well? Is that what you're saying?
There it is. Yeah, or the fact that COVID lockdowns were going to go on forever, and it was just an authoritarian abuse of power. Or, yeah, of course. Like, come on, dude. Conservatives are masters of misinformation, and it's happening right here.
All right, let me bring in Charlie. He's been waiting very patiently. Charlie, thank you for being so patient. Things have obviously got quite heated quite quickly. Let me give you your chance now to have your say after what you've been hearing from Destiny.
Yeah, well, first of all, Destiny represents to me a certain subsect of the left, I won't call it everybody, who likes to bully others into saying exactly what they want to hear. And if they don't say it, then you all of a sudden are the problem.
Yes! That's exactly what Destiny just did to Pierce. That's exactly what he just did to Pierce. If you don't agree with me, you're the issue. And I don't have sympathy for you.
And they handle it exactly like he's been handling it on the show. It's like a child throwing a temper tantrum. You can't get a word in edgewise. They just kick and scream and yell until you ultimately say, I've had enough, just say what you want to say and back down. And that's exactly what we see a lot of times from people on the left. And it infuriates me, because just like we saw on Saturday with the near assassination of Donald Trump, which that is exactly what it was. It was an assassination attempt, yet we have, Dave, like you mentioned, all of the mainstream media putting out egregious headlines such as from CNN, Trump removed from stage by Secret Service after loud noises startles former president and crowd.
After loud noise startles president and crowd? What the fuck? That's how it was described?
It's completely
mistells
what actually happened.
Accurate. Here it is. This is the conservative. This is the game right now.
It is not accurate.
It's live right now. You know Fox News ran that same type of
first
headline,
of all,
right?
we are allowed in this country to ask questions. There was a lot of things that were very off on Saturday.
Oh yeah, right when it happened, I thought you knew. Right after it happened and the Secret Service pulled them off, 7 major news outlets, including CTV, all said the same thing. Loud noises, what was assumed to be fireworks, what could have been fireworks, for unknown reasons. Trump fell. Well, there's all sorts. Like, after this, you should watch the angry meme reviews. Watch angry meme reviews after this.
Okay.
Because AC has got some doozies.
From the way that the Secret Service handled.
So, I love this country. God bless, I guess. Yeah.
You can.
What? No, you don't.
The Secret Service handled.
So, I love this country. God bless, I guess. Yeah.
You can. See. There you go. He immediately resorts to
here we go.
Yes.
Here we go.
That is exactly the childish demeanor that I'm speaking about. On Saturday,
don't talk over each other. Let me just ask you this, Destiny. You were asked on that clip we played earlier if you'd have the same attitude if your parents had been killed at a Trump rally. And you replied, it's less end-of-life costs for me. Would I lose sleep over it? No. Do you understand how grotesque that sounds?
No, I don't think he does.
It sounds grotesque, but the environment that we're in right now is grotesque.
Well, why do you want to sound grotesque? I don't understand.
You cannot engage in behavior that leads us to this point, that brings us to the precipice, and then say, wait a second, wait, are you taking this a little bit too far?
Oh my God, are you saying that it's conservatives' fault that Trump was almost assassinated? Wow. He is. He is saying that it is the fault of conservatives that Trump's life was attempted.
Hey, hang on, Dave. Hang on. Just to be clear,
because of what conservatives have said.
Just to be clear, Destiny, if it was close members of your family or close friends who had gone,
the vaccines and variant scares did go on way longer than they should have. Fauci did come out and pretend that he was behind certain policies during COVID. Yes.
To that Donald Trump rally and who'd lost their lives, 1 did and 2 are critically wounded. If they had died there, you would lose no sleep over that. Is that your position?
No, of course I would be sad. It would be tragic, of course. And the closer they are to
you, yeah, now of course he would be sad and it would be tragic, yet 10 minutes ago it was fuck that guy.
The same way that if you had a child that tried to rob a store and the child got killed by the police, that would also be tragic and sad.
So you wouldn't think fuck them because they're your family then? You'd have a different rule for your own loved ones.
Would I feel more upset if a person very close to me died rather than a person farther away died? Yeah, I think the answer there is yes.
Yeah, but you weren't just just to be clear, you weren't just not upset by the death of that firefighter who'd given great service as a firefighter to his country. You were gleeful and you said fuck him. Fuck him.
I'm not.
Would you say fuck them if it was your family and friends?
It was a Trump supporter.
I would say that if they go to a rally like this and they support an insurrectionist president and something happens to them, I would feel sad on a personal level because they're my parents.
What the fuck? I would feel
But again,
sad
I
on a
learned from
personal
them
level.
more than anyone else. I grew up in Nebraska.
Because they're my parents. But what? They deserve it?
Lethal.
Fuck them if it was your family and friends.
It was a Trump supporter.
I would say that if they go to a rally like this and they support an insurrectionist president and something happens to them, I would feel sad on a personal level because they're my parents. But again, I learned from them more than anyone else. I grew up in Nebraska. You learn that if you mess around and if you do dumb stuff, that there are going to be consequences.
And would you?
Oh, what? You're now coming? I was a country boy. I learned about fuck around and find out. What, you think that going to a Trump rally is fucking around and finding out? You think that supporting the candidate that you want to vote for is fucking around and finding out? Because it's been proven and found that Trump was not responsible for January 6th.
And would you think? All right. And would you be happy to say, you know what, fuck them? About your own
His
parents.
rhetoric is far more dangerous than I've ever heard anything that Donald Trump said. What he's saying right there.
Yeah.
He is saying you should have no empathy or sympathy for your fellow human. You know, we can all disagree. We can disagree about politics, of course. We can even disagree about how the media frames things and everything else. But he's basically saying show up to a rally. And,
this is the delusional show of the conservatives. No, we can't just disagree about politics. Why? Why? This is the problem with people on the left, is that they're like, no, we can't just disagree on politics. We have to, like, literally hate each other. Because you think differently than I do.
This is the illusion. This is the delusional statements that conservatives
show
make.
up to a rally and get killed. And that is absolutely psychotic. I'm sorry. And you know, the other part of this that's strange when people are calling for unity right now is if this had happened to Joe Biden, if Joe Biden had been shot at and had part of his ear blown off, the very people calling for unity right now would be calling for the rest of us to be put in jail. So
yep. Absolutely. Absolutely. If there had been an attempt on Joe Biden's life, every single lefty would be like, throw every conservative in jail, lock them up. Their existence is why Joe Biden got shot.
So there's a strange asymmetry there as well.
And I would ask this.
The strange asymmetry was Biden trying to make a phone call to the wife of the killed firefighter and her rejecting the call and Donald Trump not even reaching out, okay? That's the asymmetry. When you talk about it's just politics.
How do you know Donald Trump hasn't reached out? Maybe he did it privately.
The cancerous brain rot that conservatives have fooled everybody into thinking. It's not just politics to think that vaccines will kill you, okay? I've got 3 dead family members from COVID. My mom won't get a vaccine, okay? After both of them were in the military.
Yeah, because they lied about how the efficacy of the fucking COVID vaccine. They lied about it. They lied about the efficacy, and now because they did that, trusted long-term used vaccines are now being called into question. Well done.
These guys went up and down.
I'm not vaccinated.
I'm sure you're not. Don't worry. We can all tell. We can all tell. My parents went up and down a line when they did basic training for the Air Force. They got 20, 30 vaccines each. My dad has a vaccine injury in his shoulder. And the idea of not getting vaccinated was unconscionable to them until the conservatives spread these messages that are just politics.
Oh, well, yeah, no, it's the conservatives that spread the messages. No, it's not that people were just doing their own reading and research. You know, the shit that you do streams of where you're just sitting there researching shit? Yeah, it's not like people actually do that. No, Destiny, you're the only person alive that reads and does research. It's everybody else just follows the conservative movement like sheep. They don't do their own reading. They don't do their own research. It's all just the conservatives doing it.
I'll ask you this, Destiny. Let me ask you this,
When science has shown that the vaccine actually was one of the worst things you could have done for yourself. Thank God I didn't get vaccinated. I thank God every single day I didn't get vaccinated.
Let's not get. I don't want to get. Look, I don't want to get back into COVID. I don't want to get back into COVID, right? Can we hang on, Charlie?
Asymmetry of it all.
Hang on, Charlie. I don't want to get down into COVID again. I want to stick to this story, and I want to ask you, Destiny, about Elon Musk, who is responded to one X user who was calling for him to demonetize you on the X platform. And he said, you're right, this is not appropriate content for advertisers because of the offensive tweets you were aiming at Trump supporters. What is your response to Elon Musk?
the same response as it always has been. Elon Musk is a thinly veiled, I would say, like anti-woke, anti-SJW, basically right-wing supporting guy. And if you say things that they don't like, of course they'll demonetize you.
What the fuck has the left been doing? Holy shit! The fucking unawareness and hypocrisy is astonishing. The fact that he can sit there and be like, oh, of course they'll demonetize you. They're conservatives and they don't want to platform anybody that thinks apart from that. Holy fuck. That's literally what you do. And your side does. This is nuts. Let's see. Stephen loves the drug companies. He has definitely never thought the drug companies are greedy and corrupt, facetious, nothing odd about the boosters, and a lack of proper lab investigation. That too.
Conservatives are some of the least principled people in the universe when it comes to freedom of speech. As soon as they have any power to demonetize or spam report somebody's, sponsors or anything like that, of course conservatives will jump onto it.
I'm sorry, what has the left been doing for the past 10 years to any conservative person they don't like?
I think in like 12 hours. Thank you very much, Elon Musk. Although I do notice that my docs has been floating around Twitter for 2 days now, and tons of accounts that I've been reporting that haven't been banned yet, but I'm glad we've got our priorities straight there.
Again, here's what I think we're all struck by. Your position seems to be that anyone from Donald Trump to his supporters who represents their thinking, their ideology, their political views, that if they are killed by an assassin at a rally, then they deserve what's coming to them, and in your words, fuck them. I mean, do you not understand that to most decent Americans and to decent people around the world, that is incredibly offensive and makes you look like a two-faced hypocrite?
No shit. It really does. It really, really does, especially in your stance on the Israel-Palestine thing.
The driving aid moderator. Have you met the kettle?
It's
There's nothing odd about lads paid by drug companies, most licky leak in the outbreak.
It's really, really just the fact that you can sit here and have pretty much the exact opinion that Charlie and Piers are having in regards to Israel versus Palestine, and then you turn around and go, no, fuck anybody that supports Donald Trump, he's an insurrectionist. Meanwhile, there are no insurrection charges against Donald Trump. That's not what the court case was about. It was about fraud. It was about check fraud. No insurrection. And again, if he was charged with insurrection, he wouldn't be nominated as the fucking presidential candidate.
Somebody who wants the other side to behave to a certain level of decency, but is himself incapable of displaying it.
The conservatives don't have it in them to have that level of decency.
So why don't you rise to a higher bar? Why don't you yourself show them the promised land destiny? Show them the way they should be behaving.
Have been doing it for 8 years. There's nothing to be gained there. So instead, we'll just have a laugh instead. When you're asking for this type of decency, you're saying like they did for Pelosi's husband, like they did for the
Pelosi's husband
like
didn't get killed, you idiot.
He didn't die, but he got the crap beat out of him with a hammer, and they made jokes about his
and
gay
by the way,
lover.
the jokes were disgusting. Why can't you?
Yeah, the jokes were disgusting, and a lot of conservative people disavowed that.
Say the same thing about the people making mockery of Trump. Why do you join the mob?
It's not just the jokes. It's the underlying substantive analysis as well. It's the lack of responsibility for January 6th. It's the lack of responsibility for
the lack of responsibility for January 6th. Yes, because a bunch of moronic what they considered themselves to be edgelords showed up at the Capitol with fucking 10 police there. Yes, it's the conservatives' fault.
Of accountability for all the comments made about BLM protesters, George Floyd,
by your yardstick,
for all of these.
But by your yardstick, what the Republicans should do in response is simply say, fuck all of them. Fuck them all. Who cares?
Pierce, that's what you're not understanding. Pierce, listen to me. This is what you're not understanding. You keep bringing this up to me, like, well, Destiny, if you act like this, aren't conservatives just going to do?
Back your
and then you
words
say
to
a thing, but they've done this for 8 years.
Right. So the other side,
No, they haven't.
the other side is horrendous. Therefore, I'm going to be even more horrendous. It's so unprincipled.
The horrendous part about the conservatives isn't just the rhetoric; it's the underlying factual denial of reality.
What factual denial of reality? The fact that, do you mean the factual denial of reality where there are literally teachers teaching like transgender stuff to elementary school kids? Or are we talking about the actual grounded in reality facts that the efficacy of the COVID vaccine was lied about? Are we talking about the actual grounded in reality facts that if you put Obama next to Trump, Obama killed more people than Trump ever did? Are we going to talk about the grounded in reality fact that Trump, when he went into office, did way less executive orders than Joe Biden and Obama? Or are we just going to make up our own facts? I think that's what we're actually doing.
That's the huge issue. That's the big bad part.
Let me bring Charlie. Let me bring Charlie back to respond to that. Charlie?
Yeah, I mean, I think it's the opposite. I think that, Destiny, you are completely fueled solely off of emotion, whereas I think that, I'll say conservatives, even though I think that it spans past conservatives, when they look at the facts of the summer of BLM, the BLM movement as a whole, January 6th, this assassination attempt, when you look at the facts, things unfold before your eyes and they reveal themselves to be actually what they are. There's a lot of evidence that has come forth since all of these events in the past have occurred. And they have shown that exactly what conservatives were saying were absolutely correct. Just like the assassination attempt on Saturday, we look at what went wrong. We look at not only was this one rooftop unguarded, but how did the gunman know that the rooftop was unguarded? Why was it that local law enforcement alerted the Secret Service moments before?
There it is again. What? Questions? God forbid we ask questions. No. You can't do that. Fuck me.
There is actually a very good question.
Do you think January 6th? Do you think J6 was a false flag?
Yes.
I think January 6th, there's a lot of discussions to be had. I think there's a lot of facts that came forward.
There it is. There it is.
I think January 6th, there's a lot of discussions to be had. I think there's a lot of facts that came forward. They're definitely.
I will never give sympathy to this side. These guys are destroying the country.
Destiny.
There were agents. There were agents present. We know for a fact.
But Destiny, here's your problem with me.
There were agents present on January 6th. We saw the tourists being ushered into the Capitol building. They're being treated like terrorists. And in fact, several months.
Oh, I love how he's just talking over her. I love this. He hates when people talk over him. Yeah, he just loves talking over everybody else.
Vivek Ramaswamy said it's only fair that we're able to have a decent conversation about all of this.
Okay, let me say what
we're not able to have a conversation about
let me just say what I think about January 6th, because I wrote it at the time and I believe it today. I thought it was a shameful attack on the heart of American democracy. It was an attempt to thwart democracy taking place. It should never have happened. Everyone involved in any violent act that day was utterly shameful. Donald Trump's rhetoric that day was appalling. All those things are completely true, Destiny. I can happily subscribe to that.
Neither of your other guests.
But here's the thing.
Neither of these guests agree with that.
But if I'm a Republican, do you understand
that your guests won't do that? Don't you understand that, Pierce? Don't you understand that your guests won't say what you're saying right now? Yeah, because they're their own people. Isn't that amazing? This is this thing with the left where everybody has to think and say the same fucking thing. Why is that?
Yeah, but here's the thing, Destiny. If I'm a Republican listening to you, I'm thinking, hang on. This guy thinks we're all disgusting. We're reprehensible. We have no empathy. We have no this, no that. And yet he himself is proud of being even more disgusting.
Not absolutely. And then I would say, wow, well, nothing has changed from since before COVID, before the vaccines, before J6, when they thought the election was stolen, when they thought that we were forced into lockdowns for no reason, when they thought that George Soros and the World Economic Forum and the IMF banks and everybody were taking over the country. And
they are. They are. Fuck the WEF and the IMF.
Federal Reserve was devaluing our currency. Like, it's all the same. Nothing has changed.
Let me ask you this.
I'm curious. Wait, can you answer
one last
this?
question,
Do they agree with
Destiny.
any part? Do they
One
agree
last
with
question
any
for
part of
you.
your characterization of J6?
Destiny, one last question for you. Are you pleased that Donald Trump got shot?
Am I pleased? No,
Yeah.
absolutely not.
What is your emotion to the shooting?
My emotion is emotionally what in terms of his personal health is absolute indifference.
No. Do you condemn the shooter shooting Donald Trump?
No.
Of course not. Of course you don't condemn the shooter shooting Donald Trump. Why would you? Why would you condemn the shooter shooting Donald Trump? That would mean that you would actually have to take a second and realize that just because you may not agree politically with somebody doesn't mean they deserve to be shot at.
Not here, not on this program, not in front of these people. Absolutely
You do not condemn a
Not in
deranged
front of these
shooter
people.
shooting
You are
Donald
truly
Trump.
just a child. This is not.
Actually,
this is
it's
not a
not. No,
competition
you know
here.
what,
We're
Charlie?
just trying to be decent human
You know what,
beings.
Charlie? It's not actually the behavior of a child. It's the
behavior of a
behavior
sociopath.
of somebody who's completely lost his moral compass and any
You're right.
sense of
You're right.
decency.
You're right. A child wouldn't
And I'm going to go to
like
Dave
this.
Rubin.
They
Dave,
have
I want.
had evil instilled
Let me
in
let
them
Dave
to that
Rubin.
point.
Dave Rubin, respond to what you've just heard from Destiny.
I mean, it's actually one of the most disgusting things that I've ever heard in my life. My entire staff in my studio right now all gasped at that. When I happened to be at Target, the store Target we were checking out when I saw it on Twitter, and my heart actually sank. And I know that that is the feeling of probably 200 plus, if not 300 plus million Americans.
When I saw that Donald Trump got shot at, and I didn't know whether he was dead or not. Do you know what my very first thought was? My very first thought was, this is when the Civil War starts. That was my very first. America's going to Civil War again. That's exactly. And then my next thought was, and then we're gonna see a third world war because everyone's gonna attack because America's busy fighting itself.
Many of whom would vote
That
against
was my
Trump and
next
do
thought.
not like Trump and all of those other things. The idea
Because
that
if
you
I
can't
was
show-
Russia, I would wait till America was involved in a civil war, and then I would fucking... Yeah, that's what I would do.
no sympathy or empathy for that is so profoundly sad. I would also add one other thing here, which is that the reason you're so emotive and screaming beyond the Red Bull, and dude, just ease up, man, it's not healthy for your heart, is that you really don't have good arguments, so you're petulant and screaming as opposed to just trying to work things out. We're allowed to
I'm
ask
annoyed he
questions
keeps
about
bringing
these
it up
things.
too.
But I would hope that you would try, as Piers is pointing out, instead of always reaching for the lowest common denominator and they're bad, so I'll be worse, I would hope that we could try to be a little bit better than that. And by the way, I think that you're seeing that right now at the Republican National Convention.
Mm-hmm.
They're not going crazy over all of this. They're applauding the fact that Trump's there. They're rallying around the new VP choice. And I think you're going to see a wide swath of America that maybe didn't come out for Trump before and they're not traditional
I
conservatives.
totally agree.
I think you're going to see them support Trump.
Yeah, I totally agree. And I would say to
I
you,
agree
Destiny,
too. I think this has really just solidified the undecided voters and the disenfranchised voters. Like I said at the beginning of this, I think this is really a big step towards reunifying instead of forcing a bigger divide. I think this is going to reunify a lot of people, and that's good because we need, like, your country needs that. It's happening up here in Canada, but I think you guys really need, what's it called? You guys really need the reunification of what's going on here in the what am I looking for here? What word am I looking? You need reunification. Oh, good! Another update. Does this mean you're gonna fix what you broke last time, you stupid fucks? Oh my god. I have to plug in my phone right now. I have been charging my phone 3 to 4 times a day. Who's not French? No, I mean reunification as in they're divided beyond all hell. Oh my goodness. That was insane. That was just, that was, I can't believe that. I can't believe Destiny said what he said. Well, actually I can, but it's still just insane. I can't believe that was 2 hours that took. That was nuts. That was absolutely insane. Huh? What about Boogie? Nothing else has happened. So Boogie, last night we covered Boogie, who admitted that, well, he didn't admit anything. They got...
You're supposed to end with the angry meme review from Angry Cups.
Right. Can you make me some food? Can you make me some food? Like some sidekicks or something? Angry meme review. Is this the latest one? There we go. Trump nearly taken out. Emergency angry meme review. That's the one we want. That's the one we want. Okay. Perfect way to end the stream. With some angry cops. Wait. You're at... Fuck you with your 5% volume. You're not on the music screen.
Jesus Christ, that's Jason Bourne.
Emergency angry meme review. Holy crap. An attempted assassination of a former president and a frontrunner in a presidential campaign for the Republican Party. Oh, obviously it's in the news. Everybody knows about it. We've seen the images over and over again of Trump raising his fist up, looking like a superhero.
I don't even think about it. I'm built a little different.
Trump man! Dun da da da! The only, like, oh my god, it's just like, freaking, oh.
I did a live stream on it on the Angry Streams channel, but pushing all that aside, of course, the memes came flowing.
Oh, of course.
Wow, there's a real propensity for dark humor in those memes. So strap in.
Did he say strap in or strap on?
And if you are easily offended, you might want to skip this video.
Yeah. If you're easily offended, what the fuck are you doing watching Angry Cops?
But of course, before we get to the memes, first a word from this video's sponsor, Vanish Holster. Let me start by saying, if this is not the most comfortable holster you've ever worn, Vanish has a 100% money-back guarantee. Who else has that? It's adjustable, it's durable, it's lightweight, it's only 6 ounces. You can fit 2 additional mags in it, and it's ambidextrous. Who else can say it has all those things?
Ooh,
it's no sweat material, wicks sweat away and minimizes stank. And if you're a big fella, it fits up to a 46-inch waist. A perfect fit for every handsome boy. And don't worry about the gun imprinting because it hugs it tight to your body, unlike some holsters, which let everybody know that you're concealed carrying. But on
so it's like a what's the word I'm looking for? Fuck. It's, you know, with clothing. I know the word I'm trying to find. It's that kind of holster.
On top of that, I'm partnering with Vanish because they're giving away a $1,000 dream vacation if you purchase a Vanish holster right now in the month of July. Just click the link below.
No, but I'm looking for a word that describes the holster, and it's to do with like fashion and stuff like that, and I can't pinpoint the word.
Get yourself the most comfortable holster you've ever had, and you're in. Click the link, get the most comfortable holster you've ever gotten, and get the chance to win a dream vacation. Now let's get back to the memes. Nobody is born cool. Except, of course. Dude, I'm telling you, this image is iconic, and there are a lot of memes using that Donald Trump template. Like this one. Convicted felon. Multiple baby mamas. Doesn't pay taxes. Survived an assassination attempt. Black vote secured.
That's funny. Oh my god, that's fucking funny. Holy shit.
Checkmate libtards. Oh my god.
Holy
when you
fuck.
won the argument, you was having with your wife. Hey gang, did you see? New footage emerges of the law enforcement response during the initial shots being fired yesterday.
Hey Harry, look at this. What's the matter with these cans? Die, milk face!
Oh my god, that's great.
He hates these cans! Stay away from the cans!
Lee Harvey Oswald to the guy who went after Trump after seeing his aim. Ugh! Damn it, Mimsy! I said distract the Secret Service, not attract the Secret Service. Notice the demolition label on his shirt? The guy who shot at Donald Trump, nearly assassinated a president, killed an American citizen. Turns out he was like a fire chief. He was wearing a Demolition Ranch shirt, which means that Matt Carricker, Demo Matt, is now tied to the attempted assassination of Donald Trump, a president, former president, front-running candidate, because the shooter wore his merchandise. Oh man, that is hysterical. I'm sure Matt was having a heart attack when he originally discovered, oh shit.
Could you imagine being Matt at that moment? Just like, oh, fuck my life. Why does he have to be wearing that shirt?
That guy's wearing one of my shirts. Makes me kind of jealous. Almost wishing somebody would do crime in one of my cool shirts. By the way, you can get some of these cool shirts at angry-cops.com. Merch plug. Top news.
I sent you, that's the other thing. After this, watch the next video I sent you, then you can eat your food's in the air fryer. No, it's the demolition, right? It's Matt talking about the shirt.
Okay.
Biden reminds everyone that he has presidential immunity. What are you suggesting there, Duffel Blog? The current sitting president might have something to do with this assassination attempt? Ooh.
That's not how the game is played. You can't do that. Fuck, believe this shit, nigga talking about.
Oh my god. The keychain one. There's no words, it's just the keychain. Shinzo Abe, JFK, Donald Trump.
Oh.
Notice where the holes are.
Jesus.
Now you get it. And speaking of Shinzo Abe, the memes were top tier with Shinzo Abe. For example, you redirected the bullet, didn't you? You crazy yellow bastard. I don't even know if I can do this without being overly offensive.
Jesus Christ.
No one shall harm my nakama. Lord help me. Oh, and there's more Shinzo Abe. Just redirecting the bullet with the samurai sword. And, just like, and then looking down. He's looking down on Trump like he's Obi-Wan and he's a part of the Force. They made your Vincent Van Gogh.
Oh my god. Jesus, these are good. These are funny as fuck.
In case you didn't catch it.
Rich is learning his Japanese accent really well from Eli.
CNN made a little bit of a boo-boo and said that originally Donald Trump fell.
Yeah, he just fell.
Not
he
a
just
great
fell
look,
down.
CNN. You are
He just fell down.
really retarded. Even Elon Musk chimed in. Live on CNN. Caesar injured in group hug. CNN. Clumsy Trump hits head-on bullet. Of course the Babylon Bee chimes in. JFK falls really, really hard at rally in Dallas.
Reminded of the many traditions of openness and democracy that have marked the history of this city. America missed me.
When you try to assassinate Trump, everyone watching the news unfold, oh man, Boogaloo Boys were ready. had Donald Trump died, that would be, I think, the start of some insane shit.
Yep. Like I said, I was like, where's the war? When is the war starting?
Notice this photo of the president? See anything different? Combat action badge and a Purple Heart. Because Trump is a pogue like us. Sniper with a full rifle kit bear crawls to the closest roof at rally of presidential nominee. Secret Service.
I'll allow it.
Did you guys hear they're going to be doing a documentary on the assassination attempt? Yeah, check it out. The Netflix adaptation. Hey, whose job is it to check the roofs? CIA? Secret Service? FBI? Nobody? Nobody's checking the roof? No?
Nope. Fuck the roofs. The roofs don't need to be checked. It's Trump.
Okay. Oh my gosh. This CIA, maybe. This Secret Service woman is just getting bombarded right now. I'm not sure what her job is specifically, but if it's not jumping on top of the president when he's getting shot at, she did a great job.
She did a wonderful job of not jumping on top of the president to protect him.
The wage gap. Oh. What's that? Someone fixed that already? Somebody also said that she looks like Shane Gillis. Like, what's with Shane Gillis trying to, like, pretend to be a Secret Service agent? What's his deal? I see the resemblance. Me, being removed from Olive Garden after eating all of their breadsticks. CNN, MSNBC, Occupy Democrats, CBS News, ABC News. Am I radicalizing people? No. It's Trump who is literally Hitler.
Yes, that's exactly it. It's you know, it's not anybody on the left being hyperbolic. It's Trump as Hitler.
You'll wonder how this all started. Why didn't they have the Secret Service on that roof? No reason to have the CIA and the Secret Service on the same roof. What are you trying to tell me? That I can dodge bullets? No, Donald. When you're ready, you won't have to. Good old Teddy Roosevelt. People that don't know, Teddy Roosevelt was shot while giving a speech to become president. And he took it. I think he beat the shit out of the guy, like tackled him, and then stood back up with his fucking wound and just continued to give the speech.
Because Teddy Roosevelt was fucking baller, man. He was also the last president to actually go to war. Teddy Roosevelt went to war. He was in the fuck. What the fuck war was it? The war for Mexican and the war for Mexico, I believe it was. And then he like last president to fight in a war.
Like, all right, can't kill a bull moose with a bullet, baby. Ooh. I'm done being an expert in Israel, Ukraine, and Russia. Now I'm an expert in security, snipers, and terrorists, says the internet. God, there are some wild, fantastical ideas and tweets going out there from people that don't know dick about shit. Secret Service 3 minutes before the shooting. What building? Now that's all the memes that I have for you guys today. There were more, and they were extra spicy because there were ones made with photos of the dead shooter.
Oh God!
I can't put them here on YouTube because it'll get taken down and you'll get violations and strikes, but they will be on Pepperbox. What's Pepperbox? Glad that you asked. Myself and a bunch of gun tubers like Brandon Herrera or Matt Carricker, and of course Donut Operator who does police-related content. Well, we all joined together because we see that YouTube is going away that might make us all extinct. On Pepperbox, you're gonna see things uncensored and with additional content, like the memes that I can't show you here, but will show you there. So if you want to see the uncensored ad-free stuff, go to Pepperbox.
All right, let's jump over to see what Matt has to say about the shirt. Oh my goodness. Okay. Let's see. Oh shit, that's not what I wanted. That's what I wanted. All right.
I'm sure.
Okay. We're going to watch this real quick. And here we go. So let's take a quick listen.
I'm sure there will be a lot of people watching this video who do not know me, who are new to this channel and are just checking in based on recent occurrences. So for those who are new, for those who do not know me, my name is Matt Carricker. I am a Texas-based YouTuber, and this is my YouTube channel. Demolition Ranch is a firearms-centered channel. I also have Off the Ranch Matt Carricker channel, which is a blog-type channel. And then I'm also a veterinarian, and so I have Vet
cool.
Ranch, which is a veterinary-centered channel. And across the board, across all of my videos, we really don't talk about politics at all. We keep politics out of it. For one, it's not my bread and butter, but also I don't feel the need to impose my political views and beliefs on other people. And so we generally just stay away from the topic of politics.
So he is not a political guy at all. This is not, that's not his niche.
However, we were obviously kind of thrust into the conversation after last weekend. So before I go any further, to the family of the victim who died during the Trump shooting, man, I'm so sorry for your loss. It's terrible, and I hate that happened to him and to you guys. And wishing you guys the best from here. That's the worst. For those who were injured in the shooting as well, wishing you guys a speedy recovery, praying for pain-free recovery for you as well, both physically and mentally. I can't imagine. So, as a lot of you guys know, and we were shocked and confused to find this out, the shooter who tried to assassinate Trump was wearing merch from my channel, wearing a Demolition Ranch t-shirt.
Which, that, like, for somebody to do that, like, and he's not a political guy at all, so there would, I don't know why they would even, like, do that for...
And that sucked to see that. Yeah, that was rough. So this t-shirt, we also own a t-shirt company. And it's based out of my hometown right here. And my friends work there, and we make these shirts. We print them here in Texas and ship them all over the world. I've seen my shirts in every continent. I got a picture like 2 weeks ago of a guy wearing my shirt in Antarctica.
Oh, that's cool.
And so we don't vet the people who buy our shirts, obviously. It'd be
no, you're just selling a t-shirt, you know.
Impossible to, just like Nike doesn't vet who buys their shoes. I wish I could. I would love to keep people like that from buying, wearing, being associated with that article of clothing. Like, I wish he couldn't get a shirt. But it happened, and I think the difference in, you know, a gunman wearing a pair of Nike shoes and a gunman wearing my t-shirt is this brand is much more personal to me than Nike is to its executives.
Yeah. Nike is a giant corporation. It's like, it's not the same as making your own merch, like, and printing it and shipping it yourself and doing everything yourself, and then seeing that somebody is wearing your merchandise.
And so to see my name next to the shooter's name, oh, it sucks. And I wish we could keep that from happening. So no matter what side you're on politically, none of us want violence. This channel was never meant to incite violence or hate. It never has, it isn't, and it never will be a channel that does that. I don't want any violence or hate anywhere around me. I have a wife and little kids. I want them to be safe and secure forever. And the videos I put out, I want to make sure that is the same for everyone who watches my videos, that they aren't in any more danger because of my videos, of course. And I know you guys know that. I have 11 million subscribers who have been watching me for over 10 years and know that I am not that kind of person. This is mostly for the people who are just tuning in to see if I am a guy that is trying to make people do stuff like that. So I'm not.
He sounds so upset about this. Like he sounds genuinely heartbroken about the fact that his merch was associated with this. I can tell he didn't want any of this to happen. He didn't want anything to, like, this is not something that he wanted. This is, you can tell. You can tell that he wishes that it was any other brand of shirt. That, like, and he just, good for him for sending out the well wishes to the family of the deceased fire chief and the injured victims. I feel really bad for him that he's caught up in this and he doesn't even want to be political. It's just really hard and really sad to see somebody that wants to put out apolitical content get dragged into politics. And because there are just some people who just don't want to do that content, and unfortunately he's been kind of forced into it, and it's very sad, very, very sad to see. This whole thing is just sad to see, and I think it's kind of good that we have the memes to make us laugh, but still it's heartbreaking to see people fight like this. And yeah, that's where I am on this. Destiny was a big shit show, and it was everything was just a mess, and I'm glad I covered it. And I'm glad that you guys were here to watch it with me. I'm gonna go eat. I'm hungry as hell. And I will see you back here in a little bit after I eat and put the kids to bed for the combat hour. So thank you guys for watching this. I will be back with some video games later on. Thank you for watching. Please do, thank you for the subs and the gifted subs over on Twitch. Please do consider checking out the Streamlabs link in the description and setting up either a one-time or monthly tip. And I will see you guys in a bit for some Mortal Kombat. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you later. Bye, guys!